Good afternoon or morning, everybody, depending upon where you're located. Thanks for joining us today for Research Digital Demand, the Secret Combination, brought to you by StayMates. My name is Dr. James Weinberg. I am the Chief Revenue Officer at StayMates, and I am delighted to be with you today. I just wanted to mention a couple of quick things, housekeeping related, before we begin. This webinar is going to last about 45 minutes and include the opportunity for all of you to ask questions. If you have any technical difficulties, please throw a message in the Q&A or the chat, or you can call 1-800-553-8878 to get some technical support, but hopefully everything will run smoothly. Again, we're really happy that you joined us today. Just want to tell you a little bit about StayMates for those of you who aren't as familiar with us. We are a comprehensive marketing firm that provides services in the educational, healthcare, and kind of commercial real estate and buildings and facility management space. We offer a full suite of digital solutions that include website redesigns, online advertising, digital strategy, social media. We provide market research, which is one of the key elements that we're going to talk about today, in addition to digital. We also provide overarching brand strategy and then creative work in the form of writing and graphic design. And we also work in terms of demand generation to help ensure that your schools have a strong cohort of prospective students to draw upon. A little bit about me, other than the fact the picture you're seeing is just a bit outdated. I have spent the better part of 2 decades in higher education marketing, as well as in the private sector, largely focused on market research, data science initiatives, digital marketing, and lead generation strategies. At StayMates, I work quite a bit on developing products as well as partnerships. And as I mentioned, I need to update this headshot. When I'm not working, I perform music professionally and enjoy spending time with my family, including my 2 cats and a dog who are sleeping over here and hopefully will not start making noise. And I am into all things digital. So I love gadgets and devices, and some of what I'm going to be talking to you about today, I think will support that. So the focus of our webinar today is to present to you a single and affordable solution that provides value across institutional departments, admissions, advancement, and marketing, all at the same time. I think very often, a lot of our marketing initiatives tend to fall squarely within one department. A lot of efforts are focused specifically on admissions or specifically on alumni relations. What we're going to show you today really spans the boundaries of all of those departments, and ultimately, it will improve your institution's website traffic, as well as increase the enrollment-related conversions from your website. At the same time, it will inform alumni engagement strategy and also provide some great user-generated content for a variety of marketing and advertising purposes. So I want to begin with a question. In your opinion, who can best market an institution and its programs? I'm just going to let you think about that for a second before I give you my answer. It's certainly not the only one. I believe that happy, successful alumni are the best advocates of an institution. Really, when we think about it, who can better speak to specific degree programs, not only in terms of the student experience, but also in terms of the outcomes? Increasingly, as prospective students are exploring their college options, they really want to understand what's going to happen to me in 5 years, in 10 years down the road, if I pursue and invest in a degree here. So what we're going to be discussing today is really advocacy marketing from those who should be an institution's strongest advocates, which again are happy, successful alums. It all starts with advancement, and it all starts with market research. So what you're seeing on screen here is an example of a nicely branded online survey that would be sent to all the contactable alumni at an institution. In this survey, we're collecting data for multiple purposes. Some of the data that we're collecting really inform alumni engagement strategy. So we might ask about ways that alums want to stay engaged with the institution, the extent to which they like the communications that they receive, how they want to communicate. But within the survey, we're also asking questions that we know are important in terms of how they drive the college decision-making process for prospective students. So the attributes that we would consider the key drivers of the enrollment decision tend to be perceptions of the quality of their majors of interest, academic advising, faculty, internships. So within the survey, again, we're asking questions that really inform alumni engagement strategy, but that also are important for prospective students as they're in the midst of their college decision-making processes. We also, in these surveys, ask willing alumni to provide testimonials of their student experiences. And as you'll see, these testimonials, as well as the ratings of the institution, can be used immediately as digital assets. So what's really important to understand here is that while some of the survey data might remain only in the hands of your personnel to use for strategic purposes, the actual output of the survey can be used as a digital marketing asset to drive more traffic to the website and increase enrollment conversions. And so again, we're going to take a little bit more of a look at that. Now, thinking about some of the data that are really going to be used to inform alumni engagement strategy, you can see here some actual survey data where at this institution, we asked alums in which ways they would like to be engaged with the institution. And we see attending a local alumni event. We see that many alumni wanted to engage in webinars. Some even wanted to discuss current. And this is a really interesting one, discussing how you can continue your education. In this particular send of the survey, we saw that 134 alumni wanted to discuss how they could continue their educations. Given that this institution, like many, wanted to increase its prospect pool, what a better pool to draw from for admissions than alumni who've already experienced your institutions. So we can see here that many of these types of data really inform alumni engagement strategy, but also start to trickle into the admissions category. Now, how can we turn the ratings and test marketing asset? Again, if you look on the left side, what you're going to see is a Google search result for people who have typed in MSSU reviews. Now, all of us who shop online using Amazon and a myriad of other online services have gotten used to looking at customer ratings and testimonials in our purchasing decisions. The exact same thing can and is now being used in higher education. So what I want you to see here is that when conducting a search for MSSU reviews in Google, the institution's website is the top organic result, even ahead of third-party aggregator sites like Niche, Unigo, US News and World Report, CapEx, and others. And I'm going to show you why in just a moment. This is an example of a page on the institution's website in which we've taken the 5-point star ratings of the alums' overall experience of when they were students, in addition to the testimonials that they provide. So what's happening here is multifold. One, we have highly differentiated, authentic marketing content being provided, again, by those who really have a strong sense of the institution and can frankly sell it well, being happy, successful alumni. And you might have to squint a little bit here, but what you'll see are very effusive responses from alums who were talking about their experiences as non-traditional students, adults coming back to school, discussing different types of relationships that were forged with faculty and peers, job outcomes, personal outcomes. Now, many institutions' websites might have alumni profiles or testimonials, but there's a secret sauce going on behind the scenes here. And that is that we have a specific way of embedding these ratings and reviews on the website that dramatically enhance search engine visibility. So Google recognizes that third parties validating a product or service, which in this case is an academic institution, really is, it lends credibility to that product or service. So in Google's search algorithm, it really weights third-party validation highly. So the page rank in this case is really enhanced. And so many more people will go to websites that have these types of ratings and reviews. Now, this institution took an approach where they created an overarching reviews page where you can see at this point we have nearly 1,300 reviews, but the reviews are also applied on academic program pages and parsed by those degree programs. This is another institution where we're seeing a program-specific page, and you can see here that various attributes in the survey are customized and really speak to what the institution, what the specific program wanted to highlight. So we can see academic prestige of the Rake School, access to internships, networking opportunity, perceptions of value. So these are all posed in the survey as 5-point scale ratings that go from 1 equaling very poor to 5 equaling very good. And then we transform them into the stars that are so often seen across the internet when people are looking to make purchases and looking for those ratings and reviews. And again, we can also see row by row that the graduate is identified by year, his or her overall rating of the program is included, as is his or her testimonial. It's very important to understand that ratings and reviews that are provided do not automatically flow onto an institution's website. What happens is, after we conduct the survey, all of the ratings and reviews are uploaded into a dashboard that you would have access to, and you can assign people at your institution to have different types of privileges to access the data. All of the ratings and reviews are ultimately approved and can be slightly edited if desired. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that before they go on your website. Then, and I won't get too in the weeds on the technical level here, but once the code is embedded on the website, future rounds of data collection can be published automatically. So it's a very quick and easily implementable process that does not require a lot of ongoing maintenance. When new ratings and reviews come in, they can be published very quickly and easily. So the way that we tend to engage in a project like this is the first study typically will be sent to all of the alumni who can be contacted. In future years, however, we tend to survey the most recent cohort of graduates. So this is important for a couple of reasons. One is, we always want to have updated content that also reflects the experiences of young alumni. For prospective students in particular, the perspectives of young alums are extremely important because they're more relevant to what that prospective student is likely to walk into as a new student. The other thing is that Google requires content to be updated every so often, which is at least annually. So ratings and reviews cannot sit stale without being added to, at least annually and ideally every 6 months or so. So once the process is started, it's very important to survey people in an ongoing manner and to upload their ratings and reviews over time. But I did just want to point out that nothing ultimately gets put on your website without your approval. And I just want to talk a little bit about that because Google, if they believe that you're trying to game the system by only publishing positive ratings and reviews, they will ding you, and that will actually hurt your website visibility. So we would always suggest never to try to game the system, and in fact, to publish the bad reviews. Now, there are clearly some reviews that do not belong on a college website. If professors or administrators or other students were being, called out individually and targeted, that has no place on a college website. And that's really what we recommend people use the moderation dashboard for, is to weed out the comments that are just completely inappropriate. That does not mean, however, not to publish the good, the bad, and the ugly. Think about it from the consumer standpoint as well. If you go to a product page and you see nothing but 5-star reviews and nothing but positive testimonials, that might raise your flag and make you think, somebody hiding something from me. So while obviously we all want positive reviews and ratings, the reality is that nothing is a perfect fit for everybody. No institution, no academic program, and the data should honestly reflect people's true experiences. This is just another look at what you would see in the dashboard. As testimonials are uploaded, you can see that they have different statuses. They all enter the dashboard as pending, and then any of the ones that you would want on your website, you would click the approved button, and ultimately that is what dictates it being visible on your website. So how does this work? What do we actually get out of this? One is, and I'm going to show you just a couple of pieces of case study here, but we conducted a survey of prospective students, actually who, enrolled students at a College of Health Sciences, where the ratings and reviews had been on the program pages. And we asked those who had enrolled, how much of an influence did seeing the star ratings and testimonials have on your enrollment decision? And we can see that just about 70% indicated that the ratings and reviews were a strong influence on the enrollment decision, and another over 20% indicated some influence. So if we take the top two box there, what that's really showing us is that over 90% of the enrolled students indicated that seeing the star ratings and reviews on the website impacted the enrollment decision. That's a pretty staggering number, and just supports how important it is for consumers of all things to see validation and social proof. Here's another institution. And when we talk about Google Analytics, we can measure things like page traffic and time on site. With one of the institutions that we've worked with that has elected the ratings and reviews, they saw an 81% year-over-year increase in the volume of website traffic to their academic program pages that house those ratings and reviews. So that's a pretty big number. So you could really see that being ranked highly in Google and showing up on page 1 of the search results for important search terms really makes a huge difference in the number of prospective students who are ultimately going to go to your website. Well, now that you've got this increased amount of traffic on your website, what to do with them? We say convert them. So if you remember early on, the survey that we launched to the alumni had this kind of chatbot conversational look and feel to it that was nicely branded. So the exact same technology can also be used as a lead conversion tool on the back end. So on these program pages that now house the ratings and reviews and are attracting more prospective students, our technology solution enables a completely automated way to capture those leads and get them in your enrollment funnel. There are various ways to ensure that data flow into your CRM, that your admissions counselors can be notified in real time once you have a new prospective student in the funnel. So what we're really offering is an end-to-end way of collecting data, using it as an immediate digital asset, and then using the same technology suite to get those prospective students in the funnel. So that is the process. And again, just want to reiterate that we started with a survey of alumni. That was, an advancement initiative that quickly turned into a solution that provides value for admissions and marketing as well, in that the survey data can be used immediately and powerfully as a digital product. So I just want to stop here and ask if there are any questions. I'm going to open up my Zoom here. Looks like we've got a few. Okay, so we did talk a little bit about this, but one question was, should we publish negative reviews? The answer is, as long as they're appropriate for a college website and that they don't have topics or targeting of people that would be just completely inappropriate, the answer is yes. You want to publish the good, the bad, and the ugly. And what we've seen, quite honestly, is that the vast majority of people who do provide testimonials tend to be very positive. There are certainly some who will be negative, but we highly encourage honesty in this process. And again, if people were seeing 5.5-star reviews across the board, that tends to, be viewed as really not authentic. So another person asked, should we survey current students to obtain ratings and reviews? This is an interesting one. So we wouldn't say not to do this because we have found that many current students will provide strong ratings and reviews. However, in general, we tend to see that their perceptions of the institution are lower in terms of 5-point scale ratings than alums. The other thing that I would say about that is that one of the more powerful components of this solution is that we're hearing from people who have had professional and personal experiences after degree completion, right? So they can speak to, what kind of job did they get? How has higher education impacted them positively on personal and social levels? Current students, just based on where they are in life, tend not to have the same, obviously, degree of life experience. And so because one of the things about this that's so important is that prospective students can see what's going to happen to me if I pursue a degree at this institution. Current students just frankly have a much more limited view of what's going to come down the road. And so they from a content standpoint, they just don't quite have as much to offer as alums. Where on the website should we publish ratings and reviews? That's a very good question. So this is a very flexible solution in that schools, in some cases, will create an overarching reviews page of the entire university or college writ large. Some schools like to segment the ratings and reviews by program or by college, and some like to do both. So I think I showed you an example of a school that we're working with where they created an overarching reviews page that houses nearly 1,300 reviews, but then those were also parsed out among their various academic departments like business, College of Liberal Arts, nursing, etc. Does anyone else have any questions? Well, let's see where we are time-wise. Okay. Well, one of the things that we would love to offer you, first of all, is everybody who's in attendance here will receive a recording of this webinar, as well as the slide deck that accompanied it. Furthermore, For anybody who would like to have a deeper discussion about how this can work at your institution, I would love to have you reach out and talk to me about that. This whole process, soup to nuts, is fairly quick. So if we were to engage in a survey of your alumni, typically the surveys are, drafted and customized to your liking. We certainly have a body of questions that we would strongly suggest, but anything that you want to collect for your own purposes, we can obviously add to that survey. If we assume that the survey instruments will be out in the field collecting data for 2 to 3 weeks, we can basically take the data, upload it into that dashboard of the ratings and reviews within a couple days. And depending upon how quickly the approval of those ratings and reviews goes, you can go from completed survey to having ratings and reviews on your website to within a couple of weeks very easily. So I would love to speak with you more about that. And I want to sincerely thank you again for attending today. I hope that you found this to be useful. And hope you all have a great day.